Hi, I'm Nancy with MSCR Fitness, and today we're doing a strength class. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our warm-up, warming up all of our joints and muscles, and then we're going to go through our most basic exercises today. So this is a great session to, again, go through the basics. We're going to go through the basics 3 different times, and each time I'm going to give you a way to do it a little bit harder. So this is going to be for all levels. We can do this, we'll start at the basic level, we'll work our way up to making things even harder. What you're going to want to have is you're going to need a chair, because we will do a couple things on the chair. You are also going to need a pair of weights. If you don't have a pair of weights, you can use water bottles or just do the exercises without weight. So whatever you've got at home will work. You're going to need a floor, so I think everybody's got a floor here. And again, I'll give you lots of options for the exercises as we go through them. So how we're going to start today is just by taking some big, deep breaths in and out. That is a way to get some extra oxygen into the body. Reach your arms up. Just start to get the body alive. Good. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, nice and tall. See, you feel better already. All right, let's start down at the bottom of the body with our ankles. I'm going to have you roll that ankle around a few times in each direction, loosening up that ankle joint because those ankles are going to be supporting you. Same thing other side, take the ankle around and reverse. Good. Let's take the feet apart, hands to the hips. Take your hips around like a hula hoop. We're getting movement through our hips, through the low back, through the torso, all the way around. And then let's take it the other way, circling around. This is a great movement to do when you first get out of bed in the morning too. Let's bring the hips back to the center. Let's start to go side to side, stretching along the sides of the torso. Try not to move the legs. And then start to reach one arm up to the ceiling, the other arm down, getting a long stretch along the side of the body, including under the armpit, through the rib cage, on the side of that rib cage. Big stretch up. One more time each side. And then I'm going to have you take your arms out to the side. Let's just press the arms back, really opening up through the front of the chest and shoulders. And now go ahead and clasp your hands together in front. We're going to round through the upper back. Do not tuck your chin. I saw a whole bunch of you tucking your chins down. Don't tuck your chin down. Good. Pull those arms back. We're working on the upper spine. Do not arch your lower back, just your upper back. Clasp the hands together, round through the upper back, pulling the shoulder blades apart. Good. One more time. Arms back. And again, rounding through the back. This time, let's leave the arms out to the side. We're going to do some rotation. Take one hand over to the other, open back up, and keep going side to side. Pivoting on the back foot, feeling that movement through the upper and middle back, along the spine. You might even get a crack out of that back. One more time each side. And take your arms down. Let's roll the shoulders backwards. Full circles. Up, back, down, forward. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And then let's roll them forward. Up, forward, down, back. Making sure those joints are moving in all the directions that they're supposed to move. Good. Next, let's take our hands. Open and close the hands. We're going to be putting some weights in the hands, some pressure on the hands and wrists. So let's make sure those joints are ready to take that work today. Make a light fist. Circle the wrists around. Good. Circle the other way. Getting our wrists ready for, yes, we're going to do some push-ups today. Alrighty, let's get the feet apart a little bit wider, maybe a little wider. And let's stretch to the adductors, inner thighs. If you want, you can use a chair to hold on to if you want to go behind the chair to do these. But this exercise, the stretch, is going to start off really tight, and then as we do a few of these, especially if you haven't done these for a while, it's going to start to loosen up and feel a lot better. Leaning side to side. Good, one more time each side. And then we'll bring those feet back in. Let's just bring the heels up and back, giving yourself a kick. You're gonna feel a little bit of a stretch through the front of the legs, the quadriceps, while we activate the hamstrings and back. Just lifting those heels up, giving yourself a kick. And then we're gonna bring the knees up in front, lifting just to hip height to start with. And then maybe start to bring them up a little higher. Changing it into a kick, reach for the toes. Getting a stretch through the hamstrings, an active stretch. Good, one more each side. Now, let's take one leg back. We're gonna get into lunge position. What I'm looking for here is to stretch through the front of the hip, get a little bit of a calf stretch in, especially nowadays when we might be sitting a little bit more. Hip flexor muscles are getting tighter, so let's really open up. Because when we get to lunges, yes, we're doing lunges today as part of our basic exercise group, then the legs are gonna be ready to take a nice, long, deep lunge. Now, what we're gonna do this back leg, I want you to bring it up. We're gonna balance. And I just want you to pendulum the foot back and forth while you balance. This is gonna get the hip moving a little bit more. Now, same leg that's up, we're gonna take that lunge back again. A little bit deeper lunge here. And this time, let's raise both arms up, big stretch. Arms come down, let's bring that knee back up and pendulum the foot back and forth one more time. Good, leg comes down. Whew, let's do the other side. So stepping back, opposite foot. Again, looking for that stretch in the front of the hip. Elongate, really open up. Hips should be facing forward, bending through your front knee. Back leg, remember that one's gonna come up, we're gonna balance, swing that foot back and forth. And then we're gonna take that deeper lunge back, way back. And then reaching both arms up and back, stretching, opening up. Arms come down, let's pull that knee back up one more time, one more pendulum. There it is. All right, feet apart, let's take another nice big breath in. Exhale down, give a little shoulder roll back. We are ready to start through our basic exercises. So our first basic exercise is gonna be the squat. Now, for squats, you can do this starting on your chair, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. If you're standing already, you're gonna do your standing squats. We want our feet at least hip width apart. Toes can be turned out slightly. Now, if you want, grab your weights. I'm gonna grab some weights here. All right, so now you can have your weights here. You can have your weights down. You can have them to the side. I do recommend to have the weights below the waist. That way there's not a lot of less compression on the spine. So with the squats, you want to send your hips back like there's a chair behind you you're going to try to sit down in. Shoulders still face forward. And for those of you who are just using light weights or aren't using quite the heavy weights that you had in class, we can increase our repetitions. So you can do 15, 20 repetitions if you want. Now from the side, I look like this. So hips go back. Try to keep those knees behind the toes. Squatting back. This is, again, our basic squat coming back to the front. Again, at least 10, that would be your minimum. Anywhere up to 20. Shake out the legs. Second basic exercise, guess what? I promised you these. We're going to do some push-ups. So weights aside. Come on down on your mat. Now, you may want to do push-ups on your toes, push-ups on your knees, push-up against the wall. Another option would be push-ups on stairs. With push-ups, you want to make sure your hands are either right under your shoulders or hands wider. So I like to go to the edges of my mat. And we're here again. We're going to do about 10 to 12 push-ups, whether you're on your toes, on your knees, up against the wall, up against the stairs. If you're on the stairs, Feet are at the bottom of the stairs. Come up to the second, third, fourth step. Kitchen counter works great too. But this is getting that upper body moving. So finishing off your 10 push-ups. Then I'm going to have you just sit back. Take a nice big stretch back. Feel the stretch along the spine, along the back. Oh, that feels great. Okay, now since we are down on the back here, we're going to get into the plank position next. I'm going to set my little timer here. Now, plank position. We want to make our bodies into the straightest line possible between the head, the shoulders, the hips, and the heels. Elbows should be directly under the shoulders. You can also do plank position with your hands on your hands. You can also do plank position on your knees with your knees wide, as long as your hips aren't in the air, but if your hips are nice and straight. So we're going to hold here 30 seconds. And if you're doing these at home, you can always pause the video, hold it a lot longer, a minute 10. But if you're doing these every day, every other day, try to increase your time every single day, whether it's by 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, always trying to go just a little bit longer. All right, we've got 3, 2, 1. And again, sitting back on the heels, take a stretch back, a couple of nice deep breaths in and out. Okay, next we gotta stand back up. We did, we did squats, we did push-ups, we did planks. Lunges are next. Here's where if you want to use the chair, if you haven't done these in a while or balance is kind of a harder thing for you, you can come to the side of the chair. We're going to start with a static lunge, which means our feet aren't going to move. So we're going to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Now, a couple of things with lunges. We don't want to be standing on a tightrope. It's really hard to balance with 1 foot directly behind the other. So give yourself some width this way. And then we did that stretch in the beginning to open up the hip flexor. That's so we can have a nice deep lunge. Hips face forward, equal weight in both feet. Torso is going to go straight up and down as you take that back knee down as far as you can. If you need a pillow under there, or if you need just a little extra cushioning, or you can't go down that far, going down just as far as you can. Important thing is keep the weight through the front heel. That's where you're doing your pushing, both on the way down and on the way up. If you don't need the chair, go ahead and let go. You can hold on to your dumbbells if you like. But again, getting anywhere between 10, 15 lunges in. Because guess what? What we do on one side, we have to do on the other side. So switching it around, again, make sure you feel secure, feel stable first. And then doing those lunges, again, torso straight up and down. Anywhere from 10, 15, 20, depending on what you're feeling like. If you want those weights, you can use 1 weight, you can use 2 weights, all up to you. Nobody's watching you, you can do whatever you like, but remember, if this is your exercise time, it shouldn't be easy, it should be hard. Exercise needs to challenge your muscles, so let's do that. All right, after lunges, you put your weights down. One more basic exercise we're going to do today is the bridge. And that's going to work through the glutes, the hamstrings, the back. So we're going to go back down on the mat. All right, feet right up next to the hips. Arms out to the side of the T. Use your heels. Push those hips all the way up. And then roll the spine down. All the way up. Roll the spine down. Now make sure you don't have any weight in your toes. For those of you who aren't getting down on the mat, you can do these in your chair, coming to the edge of the chair, and then just lifting your hips up and down from the chair. Here again, we're going to do anywhere from 10, 15 repetitions. So again, taking your hips up and roll down. When you are finished, if you're in the chair, you're going to give those knees a nice big hug, one at a time. If you're on your mat, finishing your last bridge, bring those knees into the chest, give them a hug. Maybe roll around a little bit. and come on back up. So we've gotten through our first round of each of our basic exercises. Now, second round through each of these, we're going to make them a little harder. So how do we do that? All right, going back to our first exercise, which was, yes, it was squats. We're going to make the squat a pulse squat. So weights, no weights, that is all your decision. We're going to get back into our squat position, remembering all those wonderful things we did the first time. So shoulders back, feet apart, sit back. What we're going to do is we're going to squat down and we're going to do little pulses here. 1, 2, 3, and then back up. So squat down, 3 pulses, and then all the way up. Now, you're like, I probably can't do 20 of these. Well, do anywhere from 10 to 15 of these little squat pulses. Now make sure you're not keeping any weight in your toes. If you can even lift your toes off the ground to make sure that you're keeping the weight in the heels. Squat down, 3 pulses, come on up. Keep going through these repetitions. If you're doing these from the chair, so instead of just standing up and sitting down, what you can do is you can stand up and then almost sit down, come back up and down. So stand up, part way down, up and down. So these are going to be our chair squats with the pulses in them. So that is your second rotation on squats. All right, weights down. What came off after squats? Yes, push-ups, everybody's favorite. I love to do push-ups. So we're going to do what's called a Spider-Man push-up. So on the mat, it looks like this. In the down part of your push-up, you're going to take your knee to your elbow. So as you do your push-up, knee to elbow. Alternate sides. From the knees, you can do the same thing. Now, if that's a little too hard to do on the down part, you may do it on the up part. If you're doing these up against the wall, I'll show you what it looks like from the wall. Do your push-up, and the knee comes up. Push up, knee up. Push up, and knee up. So again, just about 10 of those. Take a nice big stretch back after your push-ups. That one was a little harder, wasn't it? Remember, it's only round 2. We got one more to go. Getting that good upper body working. Next, going back to plank. We're still going to do 30 seconds on the plank. No, I'm not just going to add extra time. But we're going to rock that plank back and forth. So from our plank position, you're going to use your feet to push forward and back. You want to make sure that body does not move up and down, just forwards and backwards. You're going to do about 20 repetitions here. If you are doing your plank up against a counter or against the chair, turning the chair here. So normal plank up against the chair is here. We're just going to do some calf raises with the plank. But you want to make sure that you feel that tightening through the abdominals. Doing that plank rock. Again, about 20 times on that one. Grab a drink of water anytime you need it. Just if you're using water bottles for your weights, don't take drinks out of them because then you'll get lopsided weights. All right, we are back up after those 20 plank rocks. Back to lunges. First time around we did static lunges, not moving the feet. Now we're going to move the feet. So we're actually going to take a step back. Again, if you want to come to the side of the chair, you want to use weights. I'll grab a weight here. But the outside leg, you're going to take a step back. Find your stability, take the back knee down and up, and then step back together. So stepping back, doing your lunge, keeping that weight to the front heel. So again, 10, 12, 15 on each side. When you switch sides, remember to take that outside leg back. While you guys are doing these wonderful lunges, I'm going to catch my breath here. Now, for those of you who don't like lunges, I'm going to give you a little hint. You might want to start from the down part of the lunge. So you can put a pillow under your knee, you can put a block under your knee. Don't put your dog under your knee because that might kind of squish him. So what you want to do is to stay all the way down and come up just an inch or two from that lunge position. Use your front heel, push down, come up just a little bit. That's going to help get your muscles used to lunging. Make sure you do it on both sides. So give those legs a nice shake out. And then round 2 of bridges, exercise 5. We're going to do one leg at a time this time. So from our bridge position, heels up close, arms out straight. Take one leg up, and you're just going to do it one leg at a time. Trying to get about 10 each leg. From the chair, looks the same. So just one foot off the ground, lifting and lowering. So you're really feeling it through the glutes, the hips, the hamstrings. Doing 10 on one side, switching sides. Getting through both sides, giving the knees a nice big hug again. It's a good time for a drink of water. Because round 3, we're going to add some plyometrics in here. So plyometrics are kind of like our jumping. They work on our fast twitch muscles. They work on our power aspect of all of our exercises. So we're going to add some plyometrics in here. Of course, they're optional. So grab that drink of water. I'm ready to go. All right, back to exercise 1. We got squats. Here's where you're going to need your chair for sure. I'm going to grab weights. Again, weights, no weights, up to you. But we're going to be doing a jump squat from the chair. Feet should be about chair width apart. Weights at your side. Do not move your arms. I know a lot of you are going to want to do a biceps curl. You're going to want to move those weights around. Leave them down. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to stand up really quickly and jump. And then you're going to sit down. But make sure you don't take your feet back off the ground. Keep those feet down, except when you're jumping in the air. So push the feet down, jump up, sit down. Gracefully sitting down, jump, and sit. For those of you who aren't jumpers, you're going to come up, calf raise, and then a heel slam. One of the things we're trying to do with these jumps is get some impact in the bones of the legs and the hips, strengthening the bones. So again, non-jumpers, you're up, slam the heels down. Otherwise, just about 10 times, jumping up and back down. Now you can see why I told you to get a drink of water and catch your breath first. So weights down. I'll give you a moment to catch your breath for a second. And then we'll go into our plyometric push-ups. Actually, it's one of my favorite exercises because it uses total body strength. Now, for those of you who normally do push-ups on your toes, you might want to come down your knees. For those of you who normally do them on your knees, maybe try them on the stairs or a countertop first. But I'll start with the hardest one, up on the toes. So you're going to get nice low in your push-up position, and then you're going to push all the way up. So down, all the way up. Knees, probably can be able to get a little bit bigger push. Keep that good push-up position. From steps or a counter, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to push yourself off. Push. Same thing on the wall, push yourself off. 8 to 10 of these. And this is going to be one where you're not going to be able to get a lot of those in. Take a breath, push back, sit back on your heels. Whew. That was a good one. All right, we are back into the plank position next. What we're going to do, I'm going to give you some different options on the plank this time. So on your plank, we were here, we've done some rocking. What I want you to do this time is come up on your hands. I'm going to come to the front so I can show you this way. And I want you to tap the opposite shoulder. So the goal is not to move your hips around. So just tapping opposite shoulder. Another option for you would be to lift legs. So lift legs Tap opposite shoulders, lift legs, tap opposite shoulders, getting anywhere from 10 to 20 repetitions in. So what we're doing with this plank, instead of having all 4 points of contact on the ground, we're getting rid of one. So when we take a hand or we take a leg off the ground, make sure we stay in that good alignment position. We don't want the hips in the air. We don't want that chin looking down at our feet. So keep everything as still as you can, except the arm or leg that's moving. All right, nice big breath in and out again. Whew, got through those plank rocks or taps again. You decide how many you're gonna do, 10, 20. Give yourself a time, maybe do it for a full minute, 30 seconds. And then we get back into lunges. So come on up, grab a drink if you need it. Back to the side of the chair if you need it. Weights, no weights. I'm gonna grab a weight. We're gonna add a kick into our lunges. So adding on to that step back lunge, so take that step back lunge, and then we're gonna add a kick. So there's your power, step back and kick. You're coming away from the side of the chair, step back and kick. If you need to, you can step together, bring the leg up, kick, step back down. Step back, do your lunge, step together, up and kick. Otherwise, one fluid movement, up and kick. Again, we're getting that balancing in here. 8 to 10 each side. And again, I'm gonna grab another set of weights. Stepping back, oh, kick. Step back, and kick. Getting those lunges in. Lunges and push-ups, I know, are two of you guys' favorite exercises. I never hear any moaning or groaning, nothing like that. You guys always give me a wide range, big range of applause. When I say we're doing lunges and push-ups, you're like, yay! So finishing the lunges, we got one left. That's our bridges. So on our bridges, we're gonna do 2 feet, but we're gonna be moving the feet around in the upper part of the bridge. So from your bridge position, lift the hips up and then take your feet. You're gonna step out, out, in, lower back down. Lifting the hips up, step out, out, in, lower back down. Now, for those of you who just love jumping in plyometrics, hips up, you can take them out and in, and then down. Up, out, in, down. Get 10 of those in from the chair. Same thing. Lift up. You can take those steps in and out, and back down. Out, out, in, and back down. This is going to be your last one today. So finishing up your bridges, give those knees a nice big hug from the chair again. You're hugging one knee at a time. And then we're going to finish off with just a couple of stretches. So take a nice big deep breath in. Exhale down, and as you exhale down, let's make yourself into the letter L. So stretching through the hamstrings. This can also be done from the back of the chair. Nice long stretch back here, especially from squats, lunges, and bridges today. So getting that nice long hamstring stretch in. Slow down, deepen your breathing. Holding each stretch anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. Bend the knees, roll yourself up, take your arms back, hold back. Couple of big breaths. This is from our push-ups, stretching in the front of the chest and shoulders. Good, take your arms down, roll the shoulders backwards and forward. Let's come over to the side of the chair. We'll get the quadriceps. So placing your foot in your hand. You want to make sure you bring your knees close together, bring that hip forward, push against your hand. And for those of you who can't get that foot up that high, you can always have the foot on the chair. Just make sure the hip comes forward so you do feel stretch, hip flexor, quadriceps. Good. Switching sides. And basic exercises today. Squats, push-ups, plank, lunges, and bridges. Good, take a seat. One more of our most important stretches I'd like to do is our figure 4 hip stretch. So knees are bent at 90 degrees, take one foot, cross it over the opposite knee, or up as high as it will go. Your options for stretching here, you can push your knee toward the floor, lean forward and or up on that toe that's on the floor. You can also kind of play around with positioning. Just find wherever you need to stretch. Now this one, you can hold a minute, 2 minutes. Lots of time on this one. But in between sides, go ahead and just windshield wipe your knees back and forth. And then we'll take that crossover other side. Same options, pushing the knee toward the floor, leaning forward, up on the toe. Good, come on back up. We'll do our wrist circles from our planks and push-up position. So starting with your palms forward, take your index fingers. Okay? You're gonna make a figure 8 or conduct the orchestra, bending at the wrists, circling through the wrists. And then to switch directions, start with your palms facing toward you, roll the pinky fingers in toward you. Again, you gotta bend at the wrist. Nice. All right, one more big breath in and out. Reach those arms up as tall as you can. Full exhale down. And I want to thank you for going through these basic exercises. These are ones that you can do every day. Again, find water bottles if you don't have weights. Make sure you've got a sturdy chair to work with. And I will see you next time. Stay strong.